What are you doing with the students, and what do you see in front of you?
Yeah, it does get vulnerable. It is a tough spot, and I was fighting everything. I was trying not to be emotional while I was speaking. It was impossible. But I have learned that authenticity does speak louder than experience and success
Mm,
stories and all the accolades and the all the numbers we can project of profitability and job growth and all that kind of stuff. When people are authentic, it's a very powerful tool, and it has to happen organically. Um, I think what's going on now is there's a younger generation of business students who, and I think this is where social enterprise and business mission comes in, is the system gives you two options. It's either for profit or
mhm.
nonprofit, and there's kind of rules and lanes to stay in. And there's people just, and I'm one of them, I'm just saying that's not good enough anymore. Those two are valuable tools, but they have weaknesses, both of them. And I want to pursue mission at the same time as profit. I want to pursue sustainability financially, but I want to have a cause that is tied to it. And I think people want that, and they don't like the dichotomy that they're being offered. So I think academics and universities are still in this, and even practitioners, missions organizations, nonprofits, they're wrestling with it. And either it's going to change the two options we have so that they become better options, or there's going to be a third option, a third path that's created that we get to pursue and is legitimate. But students are hungry for it. This desire for purpose is it's significant, and if businesses ignore it, they're going to be
Mm.
missing out. And if nonprofits ignore the power that business can be done in the right way, they're going to be missing out. So we're still in this exploratory. What does it look like? But that's the future. And business's mission specifically, I mean, I love the models, but we have got to show that these are legitimate businesses, the ones that are there. We've got to find a way from an academic research perspective to say they are financially viable, they are hopefully scalable and growable, and we've got to find a way to communicate that if it does exist, and I think it does exist on some levels. It's not just these boutique, and that's not a negative thing. It's not just these small mom and pop shops that are trying to sell some stuff here to generate income. There's some legitimate business strategies being
Yeah.
tried. um, I think that's the future that I want to pursue. Is how do we test and understand these so that we can then multiply it?
It's interesting, Brian. There are a number of men and women that I know in the academic circles. I am not an academic, and
Yeah,
I never would be. I don't have the mind for it. But I'm hearing that conversation a lot. We've got to be able. We all kind of know either we know enough stories to know there's where there's smoke, there's fire, there's something real here. There's an
yeah,
intuitive sense of yes, there's a rightness here. We're coming up to it, but we're not quite there. We're not seeing it. And I love the fact,
mhm,
this is kind of my view of academia, right or wrong, and I mean it positively. Part of what I view academia bringing to the business's mission movement, and again, I don't care what you call it, business for transformation, holistic business, just call it business. It doesn't matter.
yeah,
But a part of what I think men and women like you can do is help us codify what works. Take these
yeah,
anecdotal things and bring some rigor to them. So they're no longer,
yeah,
well, that's just Bear's opinion. No, there are
yeah,
40 cases that substantiate exactly what he just said, or that
yeah,
challenge what he just said. Doesn't really matter. Um, and I'm excited to see you and others like you and schools like Trinity Western stepping up and saying, you know what,
mhm,
we're gonna lead in this. We're gonna step out and help make this happen because sooner or later,
yeah,
if we don't have that, if we don't have the the academic validation, maybe it's the right word, and the
yeah,
research, not just of what is, but the research of what could be, I think we're going to miss the
yeah,
boat. You were saying earlier that business is going to miss the boat if they don't engage these young people. They're coming out, and every generation is kind of like this, but this one is different. I mean,
yeah,
I believe, and I think most
yeah,
people are looking at the Gen Z and saying they're not just rebels looking for a cause. There really is a deeper psyche here that's coming into play. If we don't
Yeah.
answer this longing, uh, we're gonna lose them to I don't know what. Where will they go? What will they do?
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
good they could do may not
And,
be realized.
and the church has a significant role in this. And what I mean by that is um, if I look at who's actively pursuing cause and mission in their business, unfortunately, most of it is from I hate the term secular, but worldly perspective. You got DEI and ESG and all these things. And my experience with traditional Christian business leaders is they look at that and say, that's bad, that's liberal, that's not coming from Jesus, but they're not offering a replacement
Yeah.
idea. Where is the church in saying, okay, well, the way DEI is accomplished right now is not working because we're not actually engaged in the conversation. So let's get engaged. Let's come up with a better DEI or ESG. Benefit corporations are really exciting to me right
Hmm.
now. And I've learned as I've seen benefit corporations, I actually see examples of Christians running businesses and I find out they're a B Corp. And I'm like going, oh, I got to talk to you. How does your faith influence that conversation?
Hmm.
So if the church doesn't get on board, we're going to be so left behind of something that I think is dynamic.
Well, and it's interesting. I'm working with a project team on a book trying to challenge the church respectfully to do just that. Because what
Yeah.
we're finding our early research, and there's two academics and then me, so somebody's got to make the coffee.
Yeah.
But what we're finding our early indicators are that the church isn't speaking to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so part of that is all right. That's a problem. But where we are finding an openness are in the academic circles, saying, all right, we'll speak to it until the church begins to feel like it's okay to speak to it, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how we get there, but I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. I met with a brother from Vancouver recently. I met him at the conference, and he was just wanting to figure out what the kingdom purpose of his business may be. And he began to describe it to
Yeah.
me. And it's a manufacturing firm, and it's got got pretty decent size, and it's a neat product. And he was thinking, well, maybe I could expand it. We could go to China, we could go to Vietnam and open up a remote factory and carry the gospel and do all the righteous things there, which is great. I love that way of thinking. But I said, well, tell me about your current employees. Well, his current
Yeah.
employees are a handful of Afghan refugees, a handful of
Yeah.
Indian refugees,
Yeah.
a couple from Central America. And I'm like, and I didn't say it. He got it. He goes, oh, they're kind of right here, aren't they? I said, yeah, God has
Yeah.
brought them to you. Well, the guy he's doing, in his case, he's doing the Alpha course. And some of his employees are actually coming to Christ. These are not won by a missionary. They've been brought by God to his company to work in Vancouver, British
Mm-hmm.
Columbia, and they're hearing and seeing the gospel in real life because of the kind of thing you're
Yep.
talking about. And I absolutely love that.
Yep.
All right, so